Unleash your data DIY style. Excelio simplifies everything from data load to filter to pivot. Let's take a look. First, we'll create a new app on World Bank data of world population. We'll create a label, a description, and URL, and choose an icon, category, and from the tier and access levels of our choice. Once we create our new application, we can go to the model page and create a new entity. We'll load data directly from a URL. This text file has comma-separated values with 4 columns. Let's give them names and data types. We'll name them name, code, year, and value, and give name and code the data type of text, and year and value the data type number. Now let's create a block on this entity to see the data. We'll click New Block and create a label and choose the entity that we just made, and choose the table component and data type. Now when we run, we can see the table with all the values. Now let's create a second page and preset the criteria to show only the United States population, and then we'll present it as a column chart. We'll copy the home page and change the label and icon and URL. We'll put the search operator to equal to on name and then put the search value as United States so that our chart only shows the United States population values. Now, our second page only shows the US values. We can now edit to show the fields that we want only as visible, and make the others not visible. Finally, we can change our component of our block from table to column chart, and edit our page rows to fit all the values. Once we click Modify and refresh our page, we'll be able to see our new column chart based on the US population values. Now let's create a third page for pivot to show US versus European Union populations side by side presented in a line chart. Like we did before, we'll copy the home page and change the label, icon, and URL. Now let's pivot data. To do this, first we'll change our block type to aggregate and edit our page rows so it fits the information that we want. Now we can hide the fields that we don't need for our line chart and keep the ones that we need visible. Then we'll create a new composite field to pivot data. For US population, we'll use the if-equal composite function. And the aggregator sum. This composite function will sum the total only where the country name is United States. Now, we'll copy and paste the same field, but change the third composite value to European Union so that it shows the EU population only instead of the United States. Now we can see the US versus the EU population side by side in our table. When we change the component of our block from table to line chart, and edit our chart height as necessary, we'll be able to see our line chart with the US versus EU population side by side. The red line is for the EU, and the blue line is for the US. Now let's create a block description to show above our line chart. We'll go to the design page, and click on our block. When we scroll down, we can see the block description section. Anything we type in the block description section will show above our line chart. We can also modify our block description to add markdown. For example, here we add 2 asterisks on either side of the word points to make it bold. Now let's make it so that we can add another block for observations or notes. We'll create a new entity named Observations. And give it one attribute or column for the description. It should have the data type of text and the attribute type of value. Let's set the width of our US versus EU block to 8 on medium and up so that we can fit the observation side by side with it. Now we can create a block for the observation entity. We'll select the observation entity that we made and give it the table component. If we select Table Minimal, it'll remove the table highlighting. We'll give it the size of 4 on medium and up and create. Let's edit our description so that we can use markdown. And change the width to 12 on medium and up. In our observation block, we can write the description that we want people to know about our line graph. Using details from the graph, we can get specific numbers from the graph by hovering over the line. We can also use markdown in our description. For example, for hashtags space word will make that word the header. And making an indentation, space, and dash will create a bullet point. We can also make certain words bold by putting 2 asterisks on either side of them. Once we click Add, our markdowns will be put into effect. We can also play around with our settings to change our theme into light mode and our layout into fluid if we want. Personally, I prefer dark mode. And voila! Now we've loaded our data, created a filtered view and a pivot view, and then added observations and notes all by ourselves. Please leave a comment and let us know if you want to see more videos like this. Also share, like, and subscribe.